Imeanza kurekod, inahesabu na ni video. Okay, hello guys, welcome back. This is Tech Giadhi. Today I'm gonna make a video about an aviation story. It's about a plane crash. I can't recall the exact details about the year, but I remember the storyline so well. I can explain how things unfolded. Yeah, you will love it. It will not take long, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, thereabout. It's like a mini story. So, I'm not feeling well. Sina cycle leo. I ain't feeling well. Like, nilikula Christmas sana. It is on 27 of 2025. It is on a Saturday. Acha nikunywa maji kiasi alafu tuendelee na story. Sitaki kusumbua cameraman ama kuinterrupt hii video ikianza. Yeah, guys, keep yourself hydrated, okay? Yeah. So, as I was saying, this forgive me for that. Anyway, the story is about a plane crash. So this plane crash happened in Davin, like in USA, around 12:00 local Davin time in USA. It was in winter. The weather was so cloudy, the rain, the snow, like the weather was so bad. Okay, so they had the pilots. It had only one pilot. It was a Cessna Saudi. The plane had two turbo engines. What else did I recall? They had been briefed about where they were going, about the weather, about the what is that airport, like their destination, where they were supposed to go, how long they were supposed to take. There is this thing called, in case the airplane fails to reach its actual destination, there's another name that I don't recall that name. It's not its go around. You will find out that later. So so the crew of this Cessna plane, it was not carrying people. It only carried the pilot alone during that day. So the pilots, no, the crew who were doing the maintaining of the aircraft did everything. The de-icing is removing snow in the wings of the plane, so that there are three things that play a major role when the plane to keep the planes up in the sky. One of them is drag. The other one is the air. What do you call it? Hey, today my tongue is on steroids. I don't know what is happening with me. The aerodynamics and the thrust. Okay, so those three things must play a major role to keep the plane in the sky. So they remove the snow which have accumulated overnight to reduce drag while going in the to reduce drag, and the other one, and the second reason why they remove that ice is to, they remove ice, and also they do something called icing. They apply a certain white foam on the plane surfaces, the outer surface, which is the carbon fiber of the plane. They apply that white foam to make sure the plane does not, the snow does not stick to the plane surface, the outer shell of the plane. And they also, you see, the plane has something called something that measures the speed of the aircraft. Okay, so those things are found, you see, the plane is shaped like an oval, like an egg at the, what do you call it, at the front of the plane. So in between the left and the side, there are holes. Those holes, they, how do I explain this? Those holes, like, they are, how do I explain this thing to make it make sense to you? So the speed of the aircraft is measured by those holes. So the wind that is blowing toward those holes, the pressure that the wind hits them, they measure the speed at which the plane is going with. Okay, so when ice accumulates into those holes, the plane will not measure the exact accurate speed that it's going with. Okay, but they have redundancy systems, like we can use, what do we call those things? Is it the attitude, what, like they send signals up the sky where they are going, and those signals, the moment they bounce to the ground and up to the sky, to the to the to the plane, they measure that speed, the duration they took and the time they took to travel back. They measure that, and now they get the speed at which they are traveling, not the speed, the altitude they are in. Okay, now the pilot had been briefed where they were going. Everything was in check. They did their pre-flight checks. Everything was okay. The pilot was one. So in this Cessna pilot, like this Cessna pilot, I said it has two turbo engines. Now there is something invisible that was happening. Something invisible. You are making noise there. There is something invisible that was making the pilot, I don't know how to explain this. Something invisible, something dangerous, something, it's like it's like a being. Is it like, you will know, I will tell you later what that thing is. So where the pilot flew, when he reached his cruising altitude, he had traveled about around let's say 45 45 minutes, 40 to 45 minutes in the air. So what happened is, he started getting nosy, like sleepy, all of a sudden. But that invisible thing was so bad, like it made him lose control of the aircraft. So what happened is, one of the engines in the cockpit, like you all know, the cockpit of the airplane is pressurized to meet the ground level, the sea level altitude, because yeah, the plane cabin cockpit is always pressurized. So one of the engine was leaking. I will show you a video, an animation. One of the airplane engines was leaking something called CO2, and it was going into the engine, into the cockpit. So the pilot was consuming that thing unknowingly. So it made the pilot crash. So the pilot lost control of the, he was not stable. He could not control the plane any further, because it came to it reached some point which he just slept. I don't know, is he slept or died? We don't know. We are not told. But whatever we know is that the pilot, now the pilot, I would say he was trying. He was indeed trying to control and make the plane stable. So when he lost control, full control of the aircraft went down straight. Now it has stopped becoming a plane. Now this is a projected missile down to the forest, down deep into the, is it the Arizona forest? Is it the Arizona forest, or what do you call that forest? Straight down like a missile. No controls, no nothing. There is no pilot in that aircraft because the pilot has no control of the gadgets and everything. The plane, when it is landing, it's supposed to be reducing speed, the drag. They're supposed to be drag. He's supposed to play with those flaps to reduce that drag. Now there's nobody controlling the plane. Now the plane is coming like a projected missile down to the forest. Nothing is controlling the plane. This plane crashed into a forest, and all its parts, its wing, we were told that the wings were found almost 300 meters apart, scattered. The obvious, the pilot could not survive that crash. Honestly, that that crash was devastating. It was very devastating. Now the question is, the engineers who made that plane, how could they not foresee such an occurrence, that one day maybe something like the engines could leak, something like the CO2 gas to the cockpit? How could they not foresee such a thing? Shock on you, they had already foreseen such a thing. Okay, so what happened is, the developers or the people who engineered those aircraft back in the days, they had put something like, they have those things in the cockpit, the dials that show something that is not off, the alarms. So do you remember when you were in high school, the calculators you are using, those calculators could not make sound, and the lighting was so dark when it was on the day, so because we said like he was traveling at 12:00. Okay, so what happened is, the display of that something, it is called, let me try to recall this name. It is called a CO2 detector. Yeah, that device, that system, the the engineers always make sure they put measures and system in place to make sure the persons, the on board, and the plane itself, everything is safe. Okay, they foresee these things. So what they did not put into account and in consideration was that thing, like, we are human beings for real. To be honest, we make errors. We are just, this is fresh. So if he's used to maybe driving and not responding to that thing, the CO2 detector, maybe in 5 years, 7 years, um he has not been paying attention to it so much. How will he see some of these things? They're just fresh. Okay, so what happened is, um he never saw it. Funny, he never saw what was happening. He never saw that alarm. It did not even produce a sound. It was just breathing and warning sign saying warning, CO2, something like that. But the color, it was so dull, he could not. Now what happened, when the investigations were made, they realized, ah, this was the culprit that made this plane crash and lose one life. Okay, one life is so many. One life gone, it's a tragedy. Yeah, it's a tragedy. Maybe it is my wife, son, aunt, you never know. So what happened, when the investigation were made, um, they came to, they called all, there is a board called AAA. I don't know how that there is a body there is a body, like, you see, like the way we have the world health organization world health organization, WHO. Now we have a body that makes sure aircraft are safe in the air. So there is such a body that made them rules that the cockpit must be built with a CO detector that is visible and it is blinking with red colors. Okay, so that that was it. It was a tragic story. You know what happens when CO2, because like that gas is that was the gas that was talking, the invisible thing he was preparing. It is mostly odorless. I know I butchered that name. Odorless. I don't know how to call it. English is not my first language, so he was inhaling that gas. You know how that thing happens. That when it mixes with the oxygen in the body, the hemoglobin, like the brain starts just getting nosy, sleepy, you lose conscious. That's what happens. That's what made the pilot lose control of the guy. Just keep recording, okay? Yeah, keep recording. It was a call. I don't know who was calling. So that was it for the story for today. Hopefully you liked the video. Make sure you subscribe. Put it in your status. Give them rings. Let them share. Like, create awareness that, like, there is a person named Tech Heavy there in TikTok, in Instagram, in YouTube. Let them subscribe if you love this content. I will, and tell me the content that you wanna hear more. Okay, I have a lot to discuss. I can even open a podcast to maybe storytelling, discuss one of these a few things that I know, maybe hacking, just some fun videos or vlogs that you wanna hear about me. Okay, that's it for today. Guys, stay safe, drive responsibly. This is the Christmas. We don't want to lose lives. Okay, you have a family. We love you. Your people love you. Don't drink and drive. Yeah, just stay safe. Just stay safe. This is fresh. Like, if you get injured or broke your leg, we don't have repair. You just, anyway, just guys, stay safe. That is for today.